Welcome to Gambia 24 News, where we bring you up to date on matters of national headlines within the past 24 hours in the smiling coast of Africa. I am your presenter, Amadou Kante. It is already 19:30 GMT in our studios in Banjul. Now we go straight with the headlines.
Former President Jammeh victims vows physical attack on him anytime he returns home. US-based Gambian professor informed TRC that the civil service was governed on tribal lines. Staffs of food safety refused to accept sacking by Food Safety Authority Managing Director. These and more coming ahead.
This is iAfrica TV, and many thanks for joining us. Victims of former President Yahya Jammeh are no longer keeping their pains inwards, since supporters of ex-president beam to demand for his return from exile. One of the victims vowed to take on Jammeh physically if they are met on a cleared field. The Victim Center held a press conference that showed emotional presentations of victims' human rights violations under the rule of the former president. Binta Baji has more in this report.
A victim of former Gambian President Yahya Jammeh's regime has sworn to attack Mr. Jammeh anytime he returns to the country from Equatorial Guinea, where he has been in exile since he lost the 2016 elections. Kafu Bayo alleged that he was captured alongside the then youth leader of the United Democratic Party, Solo Sandeng, and subjected to torture with a hammer on his mouth until he lost 3 of his lower teeth. Mr. Sandeng later died in custody as a result of the inhuman treatment by Mr. Jammeh's most brutal killers. During a press conference by Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violations on Monday, Mr. Bayo said they as victims may be weak, but swore if Yahya Jammeh comes back, they will physically attack him.
One time he come be fana nko haribi ale nyol kadi bante malala kumola al banke alati niye minfo yambulo ken niye minfo definitely ndiru be nyanta tan justice nale because you couldn't tell for until kabiri wo wuraro yen teriba deman fenkal ko ko tege wo suto be fo so mo 12 o'clock anata nyaayele sai ye pira sinkol kana wuli e ka foko woya jamme naja ay firida e kan tol mo liba tambal te fango dalante ke amanol liba tambal dal be boku lebe ko mo be fa sinna sai ko ya jamme naja tol be sonna walba ornana tol be falal bari nana tan tol be falal bari be attack billahi wallahi tallahi.
In an emotional moment, one Aissatou Damfa also alleged that her husband was poisoned while in jail at the state central prison for opposing Mr. Jammeh.
When we are suffer,
that's the feeling of all the victims.
We don't want to see Yahya Jammeh in this country anymore. We don't want to see him. He has no right to come back. He killed our husbands since 1994 up to date. We are tired. We are suffer. We don't want to see Yahya Jammeh anymore in this country. Those who are saying that Yahya Jammeh have right to come back, she have no right to come back in this country. She killed our parents. She killed our husbands. She killed our brothers. We are tired.
Last week, the Victim Center said in a statement that if former President Jammeh is allowed to return to the Gambia without being arrested or charged, it will be a failure on the government to uphold its duty to the victims. For iAfrica News, I am Binta Baji.
From that report of course, the victims of Jammeh by Binta Baji, now we head to the TRC, where in his analysis on Jammeh's led government, Professor Abdullah Sen said the former leader ensured that civil service positions were shared along tribal lines. Sen, who began his testimony before the TRC on Monday, was tasked to explain events leading to the July 1994 coup and the government of the country thereafter leading to a state of dictatorship. More on that in this report with Juldenjai.
United Nations-based Gambian professor on Tuesday blamed former President Yahya Jammeh for instituting a dividend tribal representation in the Gambia civil and security services since coming into power in 1994. In his analysis, Abdoulaye Sen suggested that the exiled former president empowered and positioned his Jola relatives on senior government positions in what he called a hit back on the historical discrimination against the ethnicity in the Gambia. Professor Sen told the commission that as soon as Jammeh took the mantle of leadership, he took an affirmative action by giving opportunity to groups that have been traditionally and historically discriminated against.
Jolas have historically been marginalized, not having the same opportunity as others. In addition to the infrastructure he did or he constructed, Jammeh also undertook a very positive policy toward the Jola, promotions. In fact, the Jolanization of the civil service. Increasingly, he promoted Jolas. He sent many Jolas for further studies. Today, you will find a lot of Jolas in the security sector in particular, manning very high positions.
The Jammeh Jolanization policy, in the view of Abdoulaye Sen, was excessive enough to victimize the Mandinka community in the country.
Mandinkas in general suffered immeasurably, primarily because of their ethnic and cultural identity. Jammeh consistently hurled insults at his arch political rival. Okay, Honorable Usainu Dabo. Calling him a drunkard and branding Mandinkas unpatriotic.
Sen had appeared before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission to share authoritative context on events leading to the July 1994 military takeover by Yahya Jammeh, as well as the governance of the country thereafter leading to a state of dictatorship. For iAfrica News, I am Julde Njai.
From the report there on the ongoing proceedings of the TRRC, we talk on the matters of recent demonstration in the country, because fears of demonstration defined Gambia's democratic dispensation since the mid of December, mainly on the subject of President Adama Barrow's mandate as coalition leader vis-a-vis the constitutional dictates. The movement 3 years Jotna took to the street with a massive crowd to petition the president to step down in January on point that he campaigned to serve only for 3 years. Their move was countered by 5 years and a peace building that took up the same format to insist that the president must not resign before the end of the 5-year constitutional mandate. The beginning of what appears to be a second leg of state protests on the presidential mandate, the former ruling APRC party capitalized on a late permit to demonstrate for the return of exiled former President Yahya Jammeh. The petition ECOWAS, AU and the UN to honor the agreement they made to convince Jammeh to back down from what was his illegal occupation of the State House in January 2017. Police announced that 3 years Jotna wouldn't be given permit for a second protest on January 19 due to security consideration, but after a joint consultation between government and the civil society, the group was assured of permit for a week later. However, before the colors of Barrow's resignation would go out this Sunday, Victim Center was chosen or has chosen this Thursday to demonstrate its frustration against the call for ex-President Jammeh to return home as respected person. Although the Minister of Justice on Sunday warned that the former president will face arrest and prosecution for allegation of human rights violation as soon as he set foot onto the Gambian soil. Both ECOWAS and the European Union had issued statements disassociating themselves from any political means to change the government in the Gambia. And with that report, of course, on recent demonstrations in the country, we will now take a break and come back shortly with the remaining of the stories. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
founder and owner of Her Apparel, a mother's clothing brand. Tough Startup has been one of the best things that ever happened to my life, if not the best.
My name is Modulaman Fati, founder, farm manager, ML Poultry. Before Tough Startup 2018, this used to be my poultry house with about 200 chickens. And today, ML Poultry has just built a new farm with a production capacity of up to 4,000 chickens.
I'm Ivo Lawrence Mendy. I am the CEO and the founder of Cameco. The Tough Startup, we're able to register the company in Ghana as a limited, let's Ride Africa Ghana Limited.
I urge every single young entrepreneur out there to give it a try. It's a life-changing experience.
Welcome back. You are watching the Gambia 24 News on Africa TV, and now to the rest of the stories. Having the entire workforce at the Food Safety and Quality Authority tactlessness for months means the Gambia is exposed to the risk health hazards whose extent is yet to be quantified. Within the last quarter of last year, dozens of technical staff of the authority jointly signed a petition to demand the resignation of their Director General against or amidst allegations of corruption, nepotism, and abuse of office. The Office of the Vice President, under which the authority operates, challenged the staff to engage a board of directors. Independent commission of inquiry was reportedly established, but its findings were neither shared nor acted upon by either the board of directors or the office of the vice president. Sedina Aliu Jaju, a human resource officer who is served with a dismissal letter, represented the disgruntled staff of Food Safety and Quality Authority on iAfrica TV special panel on the issue on Monday. He said the threat from the senior management team at the authority leaves Gambians on the journey to the graveyard.
Struggle is not about salary increment, it's not about promotion, but it's about a better Gambia. We want a Gambia free from corruption, a Gambia free from nepotism, a Gambia free from abuse of office, a Gambia wherein leaders will be held accountable, a Gambia wherein citizens will consume safe and quality food. And we are also urging the authorities to intervene to end this crisis, because as we speak now, our food inspectors are not executing their tax, and if that happens, the citizens will be at risk. Okay. The food we consuming, if they are not safe, the chances of us being sent to the graveyards are very
Thank you very much.
high.
Aliu Tal, a supposedly former food inspector at the office, says he would not honor the sacking from his Director General, for the issue is wrongly planned.
Like to the public to pay heed to these developments, because they are sensitive, they involve their sons, their daughters, their sisters. They have been sacked unlawfully. They've lodged a complaint against the Director General, and then an investigation carried out. They refused to show us the report, and we had to see the leak report. And the report had found the Director General wanting on over 90% of the allegations, and it is there for everybody to see. So everybody can just grab a copy of the report and go through it. If there is anybody to be penalized, anybody to be punished, it should be the Director General.
A report of the Commission's League to Africa endorsed some of the staff's allegations, such as personal use of office facilities by the Director General at the stake of official duties, and the illegal sacking of staffs. From that report, we will of course move on to talk about the matters of the TRC again, because in a bid to resonate public hearings, the United Nations Development Programme has given the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission mobility and communication materials worth more than $1 million. Chiefly, the community van through Chairman Lamin Sise will support the Commission in its outreach engagements on the second year of the proceedings. Binta Sise has more details in this report.
Transportation has been a seemingly unending challenge in the Gambia across all sectors and principalities, including the country's Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission (TRRC) that was instituted in 2017 to investigate human rights violations committed during former President Yahya Jammeh's regime. In a bid to remedy transport challenges at the Truth-Seeking Commission, the United Nations system in the Gambia Monday donated a 15-seater van, a public address system and 2 friendly summary booklets of the Commission's Act and the portraits of positive change. The handing over was held at the TRRC headquarters at the Dunks Hotel in Kololi, where the UNDP resident coordinator Aissata D presented the donated equipments to the head of the Commission, Dr. Lamin Cisse. Resident Coordinator D said the gesture is meant to ease mobility and communication challenges of the Commission. The UNDP boss added that they are tirelessly working to lend a hand to the government, saying in June last year, UNDP and Office of the High Commission on Human Rights donated office equipment worth $15 million to the Ministry of Justice, and today they are handing over equipment worth $8 million to the TRRC. Madam D asserted that the support will increase the TRRC's ability to reach out to the hard-to-reach parts of the country, to increase awareness on public hearings in which all citizens, including children, can be part of the country's transitional justice.
We are convened today to hand over a 15-seat committee bus to address system and public address system and publication was $8 million to the TRRC. This is following the visit we held a few months ago when we came here, and it's really a pleasure to make it a reality. Combined to this item shall increase the TRRC ability to reach out to the most hard and part of the country and ease the transmission of its public hearings.
She said since May 2015, UNDP has been providing technical material and advisory support to the government of the Gambia. The donation of the equipment is timely and important as the Commission enters its second year of operation. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Maritambedu, commended the UNDP and sister agencies for their support since the commencement of the TRRC and the worthwhile steps they have been taking in the country. The Commission's chairperson, Dr. Lamin Cisse, thanked UNDP coordinator for their kind gesture, saying that the items will be of great use to the TRRC.
Minister, you have been supporting us morally, financially as well, and all kinds of support that anybody would want in a situation like this. You have been giving that to Madras unfailingly. And resident coordinator, I said, you have been fantastic as well. Your staff, all of you, been behind us throughout our exercises.
The Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission was established in July 2017 to investigate the human rights violations committed during the 22-year rule of the former President Yahya Jammeh. For iAfrican News, I am Binta Cisse.
Thank you very much, Binta Cisse there, of course, and from her report. We'll finally bring this Gambia 24 News Bulletin to an end. But for more on this and other stories, you can also log on our website on africa.tv. Thank you very much for the pleasure of your company, and bye for now.